Welcome to Beginner Chess Strategy, where I'm a beginner, or rather a very low intermediate player, and I'm going to talk you through my logic so that this may help you in some way. All right, so Queen 4, right? So that's the first move there, D4, and I love that move, so I'm going to go ahead and copy it. I'm playing the black pieces, and he's going to do the Queen's Gambit here, it looks like, so I'm going to protect with my pawn. I don't like making two pawn moves at the beginning of the game, but that's what I did, so that's what I got. So now I develop my knight. I love developing my king knight early so I can get the castle ready to set up. He pushes his pawn forward. I move my my knight into the attacking territory, into opposing territory. I just like doing this sometimes. He counters with his bishop, starts developing. I'm going to put my white bishop feeling shadowed on the queen side and in order to develop it. And I think I end up castling on the queen side in this game. So I was expecting him to take my pawn here because if he doesn't, I can take his. If he takes back with the pawn, I can take with my knight. But instead, he takes my knight, so I take a bishop. I'll trade a bishop for a knight even if he doubles a pawn on me all day long. He moves forward and gives me a pawn back, so now I'm up a pawn. So that pawn in the center, that double pawn, doesn't mean as much to me anymore. I don't even have to defend it if I don't want to. But I end up defending it because you'll see the way the position develops. He develops his knight to threaten that pawn. Now I pin his king so he can't move his knight to take that pawn. But he counters with his bishop to block the pin, but I take the knight anyway, and then he takes back. So now I've got a white bishop, he's got a black bishop, we each have a knight. I'm okay with this. I fianchetto my white bishop because now I'm going to be able to protect that pawn once I move my knight out of the way with that bishop. He develops so he can castle. I protect with my pawn. He's threatening my knight pawn. He's threatening the pawn on d6. No, e6. So I need to move my queen to cover that. He moves his queen out. I castle on the queen side. He castles on the king side. This is fine for me. I'm very happy with this position. I threaten his knight. He moves to forward space, which is an interesting move, but I can kind of trap him now, except he protects with his queen. Now I can trap him, I think. But then he moves his knight into a place where it's protected by a pawn, which is nice. I just keep moving my pawns forward. He moves his queen pawn forward, but that's no good because if I just take, he can't take back with the knight because I'll take his knight with the rook. So that's no good. However, I did not see that opened up a diagonal and he was able to take my rook. So I totally missed that. And this is a great thing for beginners to know, that this long diagonal, these long diagonals, sometimes the rook's still in the corner, the bishops can take rooks very easily that way. So keep that in mind because that surprised me. Now, I could take back with the rook, but I didn't because I was planning. I noticed that his queen and his rook are on a white diagonal, same diagonal, and I have a white bishop. So I'm going to do the same thing to him. So I move my knight into my king's castle because I'm going to move my bishop on the next move to a6. And basically, I'm either going to take his, so this is what they call intervening move, or I forget what the name of the move is, but it's the obvious move here is to take back the bishop with the rook. But I don't do that because I have another move I can make which is more powerful in between, which is putting my bishop, right? I'm going to put this bishop on this diagonal. So here, if he wants to save his bishop, which he does, he moves back, and then I put my bishop on the diagonal that's going to skewer his queen and his rook. You guys see what I'm saying? Put it in the comments if you don't. So he blocks with a knight. Well, he doesn't even realize he gives me a free knight there because I just take that, and now we're even in points because I'm protecting, right? So actually, I think I might be up here because I'm protecting my bishop with my pawn here, so he can't take it with the queen. So he moves his queen out of the way. I take. I'll trade a bishop for a rook any day of the week. And yeah, so basically we're even at this point. Actually, I'm up a little bit. So I start advancing my pawns, and he advances his pawn. This is an interesting position because now what do I do? If I take, I double my pawn, right? If I take with the F pawn, but I don't. I take with the G pawn first because if he takes back, now I can take back if I want, but I actually take with the F pawn now because what I'm thinking is if he exposes himself, which he does when he takes this pawn, I can take his queen, but if I do, his knight is going to be developed, or I mean, his rook is going to come out and be in a very strong position and in an open file, and I don't want that. So I put him in check instead. And he has to move out of check and block himself. He can block with the queen, in which case I probably would have taken him. Or he can move into the corner, and then I take his pawn. So I get a pawn and a check. Now he blocks. Now I will take, because the rook is still stuck in the corner. He takes back. I can put him in check with my rook, but I don't. I'm going to push this pawn forward instead. So I put my rook on that file. And I push forward. Now his rook is in danger. He threatens. So I get a queen, and then I take his bishop. But now we're running out of time. And so I actually win on time here. So he puts me in check, but I move into my safe spot. He threatens. I'm just moving really fast. I should move my rook to safety here, but I don't because I'm running out of time. So I move my pawn forward, and again, then he's going for that. It takes my pawn. But he runs out of time here. So game over. But yeah, at the end there, watch it on time, even if you're out of time. Don't make stupid moves. We were just playing a 5-minute blitz game here, so time is very important. I don't know. I like playing 5-minute blitz, even though I'm not that great at it. I think it's good practice for me. Like I said, I'm a low intermediate player. I don't even know if I'm that, or if you would call me. I'm not a beginner because I've been playing for a long time. I'm not terribly highly ranked though, or very proficient, I don't think. But you tell me. If you have any suggestions for me, that'd be great. I'd love to hear them, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.